Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to go through Viral Launch, Jungle Scout, and Helium 10, and I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison with you so you can see exactly how they differ, what some of the pros and cons are, and maybe get an idea as to which one you would prefer. And of course I'll also share my thoughts on it. We'll go through some examples and we'll also see how the data stacks up on either one as well. Before we get started, very important to note, no affiliate links. Again, I'm not affiliated with any of these software companies. I've chosen to review these three because I have memberships to them. I use them for my client business, and also they're the most popular pretty much in terms of hype, software, and the kind of marketing and stuff they put out. Now, why do I use all three? Simply because I have to, because I run a client-side business and I kind of need to have lots of different tools, and some of them offer different things. For most people, for 99% of sellers, you don't need to have all three. And like I said, if I walk you through some of the features of each one, maybe you can get a better idea of which one suits your needs best. So we're going to start with Viral Launch. We're going to go over some of the key features. So across the side, off the bat, I'll say I don't like Viral Launch's UI very much. It's the least aesthetically pleasing one of all. So we start with product discovery, which is your basic product database. Okay, so we're going to go through and we're just going to do an example of, well, let's do, we'll do 60,000 monthly revenue minimum. We'll do 40 reviews max, and we'll do price from 20 to 30. Okay, and we'll search in arts, craft and sewing, health, household, sports and outdoors. We won't search sports. We'll do another category. We'll search maybe I don't know, maybe automotive. This is just to literally show you what the product looks like. So you have product, keyword, brand search, and category search. So you click it, and as usual, you get your basic selection. It has some things which are quite interesting, which is it warns you when there's something popular, so something that might be oversaturated. And then, like the rest of them, it gives you a rundown. You can view it on Amazon, you can save your product and track it, and you can view on Market Intelligence. Market Intelligence is their the equivalent of like the Jungle Scout app or Unicorn Smasher, where you put in a product, and instead of using the extension, you can just search it from within. So there's a knee brace. Typically though, it's not going to bring up much because it's just search the ASIN. So I'm going to look in that in just a second. So the first thing I don't like about this is I want to be able to see all the stuff. You know, I want to see at least 100 pages, 100 results on one page. They have some other stuff you can put advanced data on, and they show you price change, sales change, review change. Again, that's quite nice. It's pretty standard. You can download it to an Excel spreadsheet. Fine. Second thing I don't like about Viral Launch's product database is I can't just put the keyword in like here. I have to go to a separate keyword tab, and then I have to run. It does a database search based on like keywords. So if this one would do like I don't know, say travel pillow with say an average price of 25 to 30, we'll put the reviews. We'll put the revenue at a minimum of, say, we won't do too much, just for example, we'll do 5,000, and then the reviews, and then we'll put up to 100, whatever. And then it runs a keyword search, but quite often I find that it gives the too narrow criteria. So let's take away some of these criteria, and then it will feed us some keywords. And again, it shows us keywords with the extra data tab on. Ultralight travel pillow, and then it gives you an idea score, which I don't pay too much attention to. Gives you the average sales, reviews, sales pattern, typical, declining. So, like I said, I'm not a particularly big fan of doing it this way. I like to just be able to search the database and include keywords. You also have a brand search, and you have a category search as well, with some extra things like opportunity scores. Typically, I don't like to use maturity scores, opportunity scores. I tend not to be super interested in that type of thing. So that's their database, product discovery. Market intelligence, like we just looked at briefly, this is their equivalent of the Jungle Scout Chrome app, which, as you probably know if you're a seller, everybody under the sun has copied. So if you put in neck pillow and this one, again, you can change the marketplaces you analyze, just so you can see which ones they've got. I haven't tested functionality actually on all of them, but I have the maximum subscription to each one. So again, you can see just a breakdown here. It's the same thing you'd get with Jungle Scout, with the other guys as well. They give you a little database which you can sort by top-down reviews or monthly revenue, and you can see who's doing what in terms of in terms of sales. One thing which is quite cool, it highlights outliers, which I thought was quite nice, and you can also see a little 30-day BSR graph, which is, I don't know, it's a small thing, but I quite like that. You can click into detailed statistics, and they give you a nice little screen here with how many giveaways you need daily to rank, stuff like that. So you can see this one recommends 100, 200, 125 per day to rank. Again, this is based off of reverse BSR. You've also got a handy little market trend thing. You can do this yourself on Google Trends if you want, though. But again, it's not a game changer, but I suppose it's quite nice to see. You can see the rates of sales. It gives you a little viral launch analysis. It's looking promising. Possible monthly sales. Definitely wouldn't say it was promising though, because good luck competing on a neck pillow unless you've got something fairly special. And then the other thing, you've got a cost calculator which you can put in dimensions, and it's basically like an FBA calculator. So what other stuff have they got? They've got a keyword research tab, a separate one. Again, this is pretty common for all of the main software guys. So we'll just have a look at viral launches, keyword tool in action. Viral launch is a little bit slower than some of the other ones. I've had problems using the other marketplaces when I've tried this, but again, we'll do the keyword research. Once again, we're going to look at neck pillow, and it gives us the keyword research. Again, these are things you can track. You can then check them in their market intelligence thing, and it gives you a priority score, which is based on relevance and stuff like that. It gives you the estimates, and it gives you a little opportunity score as well. So again, I don't really have anything particularly, I don't pay attention to opportunity scores personally, but cervical pillow, okay, that's interesting. That would actually be something I would quickly check, but let's not go there right now. Again, it gives you your volume estimates. You can click and you can search top down. As usual, obviously a priority score low is bad because simply travel is not specific enough. You can sort top down with the highest priority, which obviously in this case would be travel pillow, airplane pillow. You can get some fairly good ideas for keywords, but most people have other keyword tools as well. So that's their keyword thing. Competitor intelligence. Just click in here. So this is where I've just put some examples in. You can add competitors in, and say we look at this one that I've added. Okay. You can track potential competitors. You can add keywords and stuff like that. So you can track them, you can add keywords, and you can see indexing. You can see changes in rank. So this is basically a product tracker. You can put your product in here. You can put competition in here if you like. The other thing they've got is a listing builder, which I'm not going to go too much into. but I'll click in it just so you can see. And this is a little bit similar to something Helium 10 have, where you add, if you're doing a product listing and you have like a list of keywords ready to go, you would basically put in your, like neck pillow, you'd put in all your keywords here. And then what you can do is use them and kind of track them in the way you, like if you put in big travel neck pillow, helps if you spell it right. You'd keep adding keywords in, okay, and then you've got bullet 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then the description, and then the backends, and then the optional backend categories. So this is quite handy for listing creation, simply because, well, I mean, one of the things I do is listing copy for sellers as well, and it can basically just help you organize your keywords and kind of know which ones you've used, although Helium 10 have a better piece of software for this. So that's what it does, and then it gives you your optimization score based on the number of keywords you've used. So again, most people aren't running kind of agencies, and most people aren't doing lots and lots and lots of listings. So how useful this is for most people, the average user, I'm not really sure. And for me, like I said, Helium 10 have kind of a superior version of this, but they have it, it's a feature, it's there. Then you can do their listing analyzer, which is basically, they give you a kind of arbitrary score on your listing, which I'm not really a big fan of things like that. They don't do a good enough job, and they're simply based on, have you used X amount of keywords, 5 images and stuff like that. Other thing you have is Keyword Manager. So again, I have this loaded with, this isn't the primary tool I use. For your keywords, you can track things. And then they have their launch feature, which I'm not going to go into too much because I'm mainly looking at the product research thing, but that's when you do launches and promos. Sorry about my phone clicking away in the background there. You have a split testing service, a bit like Jungle Scout's Splitly. Not something I do with Amazon listings myself. And then you've just got the affiliates tab and something else. So like I said, the main use for these tools, the way I use them, is for either keyword research or for the product database. Again, some of the others, they're okay, but my verdict on viral launch is, generally speaking, I would say overpriced. Not a fan of the user interface, and I would say it was, in terms of accuracy, it's impossible to say because they all use their own proprietary kind of algorithms. I'm not the biggest fan of it though, and as for things like launch managers and stuff like that, it doesn't really work that way with launches anymore. Simply giving units away at 99% off doesn't work to actually get you any rank. You need to do something like a Facebook kind of promo instead. So you do the discount and then you'd send them via Facebook via kind of super URL. But I'm not, like I said, I don't really have the scope for that in this video. So viral launch, least favorite of all of them. It doesn't really stand out in anything. So like I said, I'm not really a big fan, but I do have access to it. So next up is Jungle Scout. Jungle Scout has always been my favorite from day one. I've always been a big fan of Jungle Scout simply because I like their content. I think they do a really good job. They were the first to the market and everybody else has copied them. And their price point, I think it's 50 for the basic. Anyway, so their UI for their product database is super easy to use. So like if I'm just going to select all, we'll do the product tier as standard, FBA sellers, and then we'll look at, again, we'll look at the example of neck pillows just for consistency, and we'll do just max reviews of 50. Let's go for revenue of maybe a minimum of 6,000. And you can also you can set like one seller if you like to make sure that's a more reliable way of finding out if it's private label. So the first thing I like, which should be of standard, is you've got the option to include or exclude keywords. Thank you, that's exactly what I want. So I should also mention you can do this on the Jungle Scout Chrome app as well. So we're just going to do a quick search, and it's come up with nothing, which means probably my search criteria is a bit too limited. So let's just take the reviews out for a minute. Still nothing. Okay, let's go to 600. Like I said, really all I want to do is pull something in, possibly because I've not put a space in the word. Let me test that. Got to watch out for misspellings. Okay, so here you go. Finally, we've got something come up. Pretty quick. Sorry, just have a drink there. And let me put some of those filters back in. Actually, I think that was just because I was spelling it incorrectly. Let's put that back up to a minimum of 6,000. And search. So again, it's the product database. They were the first guys to do it. Again, you've got the option to track these things, add them to groups, trackers, the same functionality they all have. They have the fees, the net, the estimated profit. As always, you can search, you can filter things for reviews, you can change your filters. Now, again, another thing I like straight away about Jungle Scout is that I have the option to display up to 200 items per page, which just makes life way easier because I can scan, scroll very quickly. And it's especially helpful if you have like 10 pages. So again, that's another big thing. People talk about accuracy and people test their own things. The problem is you never really truly know how accurate. I mean, these are all estimates. Now, again, I've got access to all the different marketplaces. So I think if you wanted to look at the UK, it'd be the same. Again, you run the same kind of search. We do neck pillow, like a minimum price of say 20, and then we can search, and it'll give us X amount of results. So not so many results here for the UK that meet our criteria. So that's that. We have a product tracker as well, as usual. You can group them up, organize them. Niche hunter, which not something I use so much, but again, if we go, I don't know, let's choose a category. We'll just do baby. We'll do units sold. I don't know, let's go up to 1,000 plus. Average price of what? I don't know, maybe we'll just limit ourselves. We'll do 23 to 40. Opportunity score will go up to 10. Obviously, the lower, the worse the opportunity. Competition, we'll go from 0 to 4. LQS, you can always go on things. Listing quality, again, I'm not really. They have a proprietary score which they give listings, so you basically get a bad score when you don't use all the images, when you don't fill out all the bullets, when you don't fill out all the description. But of course, there's no way it can actually test for quality. Your images could be poor quality, your copy could be terrible, there might be a lack of keywords. But like I said, I'm never a big fan of those things. And you can search this way as well, and it gives you basically green is good, red is bad. So it gives you ideas for keywords. So okay, fitted flannel sheets, and you can see, okay, that doesn't look too bad. And then you can click into it, and you can also start digging as deep as you want. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Niche Hunter myself, but it depends on your, how you use these tools. A new thing they've added, which I'll just show you briefly, is find suppliers. So this is, I think they only added this like last week or something. So you want to find a supplier for your neck pillow, or it could be travel neck pillow. You can search via company, supplier. You can watch the tutorials on this. Basically, because most people search on Alibaba, and that's a pain in the ass, you can use this instead to get Jungle Scout's breakdown of potential suppliers, and then you can save them, and you can click on search for contact info. So it gives you a little breakdown. We'll just take the top one. Shows you how many total shipments they made into the US since, what was that, 2015. It gives you their address. You can also search for extra contact information. You can go into even more info about them. And you can see months of data, and you can also see like the kind of products that the keyword is coming up for. So this is handy for when you want to source product. Now I know some other ones also have access to, they make it kind of easier. I don't personally source using Alibaba, so I'm not too worried about it, but that's a new feature they've got, which so far some of the other big boys in the database space don't have. The next thing, the main thing, is the keywords spot. So you've got a few things in keywords. You've got a listing builder, again, just like you saw with Viral Launch. I think Helium 10 did this first. I'm not really sure. I'm not going to go into this. I don't use this one myself. So there's a list of keywords you can build, and here's your keyword scout. So let's do neck pillow again. I suppose really we should do travel neck pillow to give it a click, and it will pull up similar information again to Viral Launch, except the difference is you get to see, I mean, like I said, personally for my eyeballs, for my brain, this layout is much clearer and much easier for me to work with. You've got your keywords, you've got the exact match estimates, you've got the broad search estimates, the categories, recommended giveaways, again, so how many units you need to give away to rank on page 1 per day. You've got the PPC bid estimates, which don't interest me that much, but okay, you know, it is what it is. And then you've got a relevancy score, a rank score. Obviously the ease to rank would be the less popular keywords, so something like travel pillow with a misspelling. And basically that's it. That's pretty much, you know, this is their keyword tool, so you can click top down to search. Personally, I quite like it. It's not my keyword. I still mainly use merchant words because they've had some big updates. Still one of my favorite tools, along with another one called Spot Niches. But I do come in here and check things as well, just to get a feel for, you know, how they differ. So that's pretty much it. I'm not going to I'm on my wife's computer, so I don't have the Jungle Scout extension installed on this one, but I'm presuming most of you are familiar with the Jungle Scout extension. Still one of the most visually pleasing. Generally speaking, still my favorite. I still trust it. I still like it. So that's Jungle Scout. I think they start at $50 a month for just the US, which I think is pretty good. And finally, we're going to come into Helium 10, which is, again, I have to say, a little bit of a rip-off. To do anything, you really need to start at the $100 a month package. They give you some free and limited usage of some of the tools to begin with, but not really enough to get stuck in. And, you know, one thing before we go in and have a look, a couple of years ago, Helium 10 was just a selection of very crappy tools. Not crappy, but they didn't do anything interesting. They didn't have product database. They had basically nothing apart from a few, you know, like Scribbles to do your listing, and the Frankenstein keyword tool, which I'm going to show you in a minute, which removes duplicate keywords, but I can do that in Excel anyway. So it was they were the weakest offer by a very long way for a long time. Now they have some better offers, but personally I think it's far too much hype. But anyway, let's have a look. Let's go into Blackbox first. Like I said, one thing I don't like is they limit the amount of kind of usages you get. I think I might actually be in Blackbox already. Oh no, this is Magnet. 2 seconds. Okay, so here's Blackbox. Let's do a keyword filter. So we're on Amazon. You can see the different marketplaces. So they've got most of the EU ones. Let's put some filters in. So let's have a look at their basic filters. So just like with Viral Launch, you can filter by competitors, niche, product targeting. And let's do, you know, categories. If we select all the categories, just for this example, we're going to do monthly revenue of a minimum of 60. Let's do a minimum of 60,000. And then let's do a minimum price of 30 to 30 to 35 just for this, and we'll do a maximum review count of 15. We're not going to do review ratings for the moment. You can set the tier as well, so they have more tier options. Now if you wanted to just go with that, you could. If you want to put advanced filters on, you can. Sales change percentages, sales to reviews, fulfillment, so we'll do FBA in this case. We won't do, I think if you search by revenue, I wouldn't really need to search by BSR, but you could if you wanted to. And then there's some other things as well, search by number of images, which are okay, but what we want is the keyword. So let's do neck pillow again. I might have to change this because I don't know if there'll be enough results for neck pillow. Okay, so let me take the revenue down to 5,000 just so we can actually see something. Pretty good UI. Same thing, similar to Jungle Scout, similar to a lot of, they have similar thing to Viral Launch where you can see the changes at the bottom. You can add it to your products. You can view the product on Amazon. Same stuff pretty much as everywhere else. There's the image, and that's it really. What else can I say about this? Not much. So, like I said, if I change some of these filters, we'll see different results. Like if I change this down to 15 and we search again, the results will be different. So the big question is, who's got the most accurate data? Helium 10, Jungle Scout, Viral Launch? Well, the answer really is nobody knows. We don't know. They don't have access to Amazon sales data. But why I use all three is because I can compare things based on the exact same filters. So, you know, you can knock yourself out looking at neck pillows with the price and changes, best sales period. So that's their database, Blackbox. Okay. They have a thing called Amazon Trendster, which it's basically a Chrome extension. I haven't got the API installed. There's a few things where you have to install their API, and then it'll show you many codes. So basically, I can't show you this one because again, I'm on my wife's computer, but when you're searching Amazon, you can use their Chrome extension to do a few things like the Jungle Scout Chrome extension. You can get keywords off it and it will show you trends and things. Again, trends, look, if you really need trends, you can use Google Trends, okay? It's not rocket science, it doesn't have to cost anything. Here's their keyword research tool. So this is Magnet. I think they have another Magnet as well, Magnet 2. I guess this is their updated version. So again, you've got Canada, Germany, all the main offenders. So let's do neck pillow. Again. Let's have a quick little look. Takes a little bit longer than the other guys, which is why I'm going to have a drink and I'm not even going to edit it out because this is me just going off the cuff. Okay, so one thing I quite like about their keyword research tool as opposed to say Jungle Scout's one is it gives you some more data at the top, and again, like they give away the daily giveaway, the daily giveaway thing, which I'm not particularly interested in, but I guess it's handy to have. So it shows you some of the top products, and then when you scroll down, you can look at the actual keywords, search volume, how many people are running ads, and they have this thing called the Magnet IQ score. So, like it says, it's an internal score they give to keywords to show the ratio between search and competition. So obviously, the higher the competition and the higher the keyword, probably the lower score it gets. If you have a high search amount of volume for a keyword and a low amount of offers, that makes it a better score. So you can search for, you can click and it'll top down organize, something like this. It gives a high score, Massage Neck Pillow by Cellulite, but obviously Cellulite is a brand, so that wouldn't affect our thing, but that's just how it works. So you get quite a lot of information in their keyword table, which I think is quite cool. Again, I'm showing you this is the maximum package. So if you have the basic package, which is still $100 a month, they limit things you can do. So you might only get 5 keyword searches, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of doing it that way myself, but just so you know, that's what it is. So that's their keyword tool. It's quite good. You can search the keyword history as well, so you have to add things. Autism journal. So again, there's some examples in there. common words, nothing coming up for that. But I think in terms of the keyword tool, I'm a big fan of Helium 10's one, and I quite like Jungle Scout's one. Again, my favorite is still merchant words, but if you were already using one of these tools, then there'd be something you can do. So they've got the thing, Cerebro. Cerebro is just a reverse ASIN tool. So this was something that Keyword Inspector, they were the first guys to do this. I don't have an ASIN one to put in, but basically you put in a competitor's ASIN and then it'll give you their keywords. So that's what that does. I think this is good they have this, because I haven't seen this on Viral Launch and I haven't seen this on Jungle Scout. So the fact that they have this extra edition is quite handy, because whenever I do keyword research, I always like to take some of the top competitors and put theirs through a reverse ASIN lookup as well, just so I know what they're doing. So I think that's cool. Frankenstein keyword processor. So I used to use this a couple of years ago when it was free. And basically, if you have a list of keywords, you have like a big, I can't show you because I don't have one ready, but if you have a big list of keywords that you've got in an Excel spreadsheet that you've downloaded either from Helium 10 or you've downloaded from Merchant Words, you can just copy them all in and you can remove characters, special characters. Basically, all it does is it removes duplicate keywords and then gives you a nice list. So this was super handy when you could put up to 5,000 characters on the back end in the customer search space, because obviously that's a lot of keywords to remove duplicates. Now again, you can do this in Excel, but Frankenstein's a very handy way of doing it. The question is it handy to the tune of $100 a month? No, you can go in Excel and remove them, but if you've got it, you might as well use it. So the only thing that makes it really not so relevant these days is on the back end you can now do 200 to 250 keywords. So that's not that many to find without duplicates. So I'm a fan of Frankenstein, but it's not really it's not a game changer or anything like that. Next thing, Scribbles. Scribbles is a handy little listing optimizer. Like I said, I'll give them credit for this because I think Helium 10 was the first one to do it, but these days all the tools have pretty much copied each other anyway. So it comes down to personal preference. And again, you do the same thing. You'd add the phrase neck pillow. You'd have your whole list of keywords, and then you can start creating your title. And it makes it a little bit quicker and a little bit easier to put things in, and it also visually shows you which keywords you've used. Now, like I said, I create a lot of Amazon listings, so it's very handy when I'm putting things in to see this kind of stuff. But it's not, again, you can do it very easily without it. It's a mildly useful tool. They have another thing, which is index checker, which I'll just show you real quick. So you have to add the extension, and it basically just checks if your product is being indexed correctly for keywords. So you could, you can do that manually quite easy as well. Then their other thing is the keyword tracker / product tracker. So there's a couple of examples in here. Essentially, you can track based on keywords, just like they all have product tracking. Alerts, this is cool. This is one thing which I use Listing Eagle for this, but as far as I'm aware, none of the other big tools have this in. So you add your Amazon token so their API can connect to it, and you get hijacker alerts. So you put in your product, and you get a message from Helium 10 every time a new seller pops up on your buy box. That's quite handy. Inventory protector, which is another exclusive thing to them, to prevent coupon abuse. Now, if you know what you're doing, you know how to keep control of that anyway, but people used to lose like a lot of money with that years ago. I don't know if they still do, but it was like almost a daily thing. People kept messing up their coupon giveaways. Refund Genie, which is something else the other boys don't have, which basically submits inventory reports. It makes it quick and easy. You can do this manually. I'm not going to go into it, but again, all this stuff you can do manually. But I think Refund Genie makes it quite easy. And the last thing is misspelledinator, which is, there used to be one of their core offerings. You put in a keyword like neck pillow. I'll just show you again using neck pillow for today. I just select all. Obviously, the more keywords you have, the better. And probably, I wouldn't expect much to come up with this, but basically what it does is it gives you common misspellings, K-N-E-C-K, and then you can copy them all, you can download them. This is very cool because I like to put misspellings on the back end in the customer keyword spot, because I know people aren't optimizing it for. So to just quickly get misspellings, I think is pretty handy. So what can I say about all three real quick? So I've shown you them all side by side. Once again, my least favorite is Viral Launch, and I don't believe in the main thing is their Viral Launch giveaway. I don't really believe that's effective. Giving away products via these services isn't what it was 2 years ago. Okay, it doesn't work that effectively anymore. You need to be doing things like the new Super Rails and giveaways via Facebook. That still works. The other stuff, like I said, I certainly wouldn't be doing it these days. So Viral Launch is far and away my least favorite. I don't like the UI. A lot of their features were simply copied from Jungle Scout. They all to be fair, they all copy each other a little bit, but it's not my favorite. Pretty much for anything. So it's expensive and I wouldn't recommend it. Next up, it comes down to Jungle Scout and Helium 10. I don't like Helium 10's price structure. I think it's overpriced, and I think if you're just starting with launching a product on Amazon US, I still think Jungle Scout is the best way to go. It's still the best in terms of, well, again, my personal opinion, I still think it's the best in terms of the UI, the look and the feel of the database, and they were still they were the first guys to get there in a lot of respects. Helium 10 does have some interesting extra product features, like again, refund genie, hijacking alerts, stuff like that for when you're already selling. So if you're a brand new seller and you haven't yet launched a product, you're not going to get too much use out of some of these other things that Helium 10 offers, like refund genie, the inventory protection, hijacking alerts, stuff like that. They all have trackers, they all have databases, they all have kind of their own listing optimization stuff. They all have the keyword things. Helium 10 does have more unique tools to them, but the question is, how useful really are their unique tools? And I don't think they're that useful, and I don't think they're that useful to the tune of $100. They're quite good, but I think this comes down to personal preference. Like for me, for my first products, I was just using Jungle Scout. Okay, like I said, I have the maximum memberships to all of these tools, because it's something I need to have as part of a client business. In terms of purely what I'd recommend, I still recommend Jungle Scout, and they have that new sourcing tool, which I haven't played with at all really, but it could be a game changer in a lot of ways. That's something unique to them. I guess the other guys will copy it soon. So I would put Jungle Scout still number 1, I'd put Helium 10 number 2, and I'd put Viral Launch number 3. When you're already up and selling with multiple ASINs, maybe then you might want to switch over to Helium 10 when you're pulling in more money per month and you're generating more income. Then maybe you could switch to Helium 10 and take advantage of some of their extra stuff, like refund genie and hijacking alerts. And if you wanted to track, you can still track that way. Maybe then it would be worth the switch. But to start with, I think you should start lean. My vote still goes to Jungle Scout. This is not an affiliate. This isn't an affiliate thing. I'm going to put a link below in the description to my website, because I have a product research service I offer, a simple one. Whereas if you don't have access to any of these subscriptions and you don't want to be going in for $100 a month, you can shoot me a message and I will help you with your product research for a one-off fee to save you that money. But like I said, no affiliate. That's the breakdown. Those are my thoughts on the tools. If you have any questions, pop a comment in the video, or you can come over to my website, which is at dan-moody.com, or you can send me an email at danmoodyfba@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and good luck and happy sourcing.